As the wind erodes and the water corrodes, altering everything we think we know, but we don't. It's all temporary, and it used to, but now the thought doesn't scare me or keep my feet from following one after another until I slumber. Then my mind on my feet wander and dream of people and places I'll never see again. I've mended as much mental anguish as I can, and now I try to use this language to take these thoughts from my head to my pen. Cause though I don't speak of my dead friends or the circumstances, often the blow never softens or yields. I'm in a desolate field, lonesome stargazing, night blazing, chasing traces of remembrance and reverence of relevant friends and acquaintances, and faceless and nameless names and faces. And while my mind is racing through these photo albums and quotations, all these people and places far from me, for only land and stars I see when I'm outside of the mile-high city, which is not my city, for I was born 1,000 miles northeast of there, in the land of beer and lakes and pistol fire on MLK's birthday, where there is no minorities and segregation's mandatory. But that's a whole nother story altogether, and no matter the weather or hardships that any place brings, I'll still laugh when people shiver and say it's freezing, or say, hey, no wait, I already had 18 mixed drinks, but I guess it's a Midwest thing. And I'm a mess from a dirty city and brought most of this filth I've gathered with me.
Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Experience Andy Weins Live. Today, we're going to be talking about death and how it only happens once. That's right. We get the opportunity to live every day while we only die once. And all too often, people have that backward. So today, we're going to right this ship and talk about how to live each and every day to its fullest. Coming up after the verse.
My work labors on as lovers sleep in each other's arms, remaining calm and collect. I begin my self-reflection process of redemption. Honestly, I don't know where this road leads, or if I'm even going. Could be rowing upstream, or worse, chasing my dreams to the peak, to finally be somebody doing something with what I have, rather than saying again and again that I can't and I won't anymore from this day forward. Cause Lord knows the past is set in stone, the present is yours to mold and to use for future uses. I know I'm a nuisance, I'm told, cause I'm neither young nor giant nor gnome. I don't sleep on these streets usually, though I've made thrones of my own. I don't sit well with idle hands, though don't know what to do when I'm home all alone. I'm a menace thrown from society, and as it lies to me, I'll smile silently as others do as they please. I am watching and listening, and I'm grinning all the while, cause sometimes all you can really do is smile. So as the work labors on, I'll keep on singing my songs, and this day is never done. We just keep on spinning around that sun. And well, through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.
Here we go. Welcome to another week of Experience Andy Weins Life. Experience Andy Weins Live. And today we're going to talk about living this life that we get to live each and every day. And before we do that, let's go to our gratitude bucket. Every week I come up here and I want to express gratitude. Gratitude for the people, the places, and the things, and all those things that I interact with that I am grateful for. So today, he doesn't know this yet, one of our employees has been with us for over 3,000 days. We celebrated his 3,000 days about 2 months ago. Been with us for 7.5 years. His name is Jerome Holmes. He was with us. He's one of the OGs, right? We have a handful. There's 3 of us left, the 3 OGs. So OGs for the original gangsters, those of us that were in the backyard back in 2016 and 2017 before we moved into this facility here 7 years ago. So Jerome is one of 2 OGs besides myself that's still here at this company. And earlier this week, I was given the opportunity for a pair of Packer tickets. For anybody here in the Midwest, that has coveted to have Packer tickets to a Monday night football game. So I'm taking him to a Packer game, and I'm going to tell him about 20 minutes here when he comes upstairs after working today. So I'm really excited to give back to him. And I'm extremely grateful for Jerome because he started as a temp with our company. We had him on a project. He was one of 17 temps we had on that project, and he's the only one we hired. And now he's been with us. He's been our longest tenure employee since those days. And he's been through it all with us, the ups, the downs, the name changes, COVID, the non-compete I sat through for a couple of years. And I'm really grateful that he continues to show up. It has nothing to do with loyalty. Loyalty is not a strength of mine. It's not a characteristic of our company. When it comes to our company, we look at hunger, right? Our 3 values are hungry, dependability, and camaraderie. And he's a guy, he's hungry. He wants to learn more. He's dependable. He says what he does. He does what he says. He does what he says what he does, right? Day in and day out, he shows up. He makes it happen. And then camaraderie. People want to work with him, and he wants to work with people. About a month ago, he was one of 2 employees nominated for Employee of the Week. And the other employee was chosen over him. And that employee gave him the gift card because he appreciates him so much. So I really appreciative for Jerome all these years going out there on a day like today where it's cold and nasty out there, working, making things happen, and supporting me as I live out my dream here, running a junk removal company and writing books and speaking. He's been there, the consistent force within our company. So I'm extremely thankful for him. I'm really excited here in a few minutes when I get to show him how important he is to me, and then also to show him and spend time with him on Monday going to a Packer game because to the best of my knowledge, he's never been up to Lambeau Field. So I'm really excited for that. Second thing, let's talk about how I pay my bills, right? My ask this week is a little more unique. So I've been asking a lot lately for podcasts, and for speaking opportunities. And one thing that's happened recently is I've had a few customers, previous clients of mine that I did consulting work with come back and picked up a few new consulting gigs. And so I'm starting to realize that there's a need for people to have more in-depth one-on-one conversations. And I call the consulting, I'm really leaning towards, it's not coaching, it's somewhere between consulting and mentoring. And so my clients are primarily women. So I support women, business leaders that are women that are struggling to get from where they're at to where they're going. And what I do is I jump into it in the weeds with them, whether that's in the weeds of their operations, the financials and the numbers, or sometimes it's about the words and what they've been telling themselves. And so that's the ask. If there are women, if you are a woman that is looking for that mentorship, consulting to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, that shift in perspective and mindset, that's what I do. Primarily focusing on operations, finances, and then also mindset. So those are 3 areas that we focus on. So that's the ask. If you are that person, or when you are that person, when you hear that person is in need of support, send them my way and let me see what I can do to support them. All right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. You only die once. I love this, right? There's this old adage where it's you only live once, or like YOLO, and in actuality, no, we get to live every day. We get 365 opportunities every day. We get, however many years on this earth, every day we get to live. And I think about what Dr. Bill Crawford said that I live by, right? In life, there are only 3 things you have to do. You have to be born, you have to live, and you have to die. Everything else, ladies and gentlemen, is a choice. And so the opportunity we have, there's how do we live each day? The documentary I saw about 2 months ago, I watched it for the second time, The Saint of Second Chances, talks about baseball and how he loves baseball because every day, every game, right, after 9 innings, there's a clear winner or loser, right? And then tomorrow, you get another 9 innings, and you get another 9 innings. And every day you get another 9 innings until the day you don't wake up, or the day you don't go to sleep, and the day you don't get the next day. And you know what? That's somebody else's problem. That's a tomorrow problem, not a today problem. And so while we have today, let's live. So as I thought about this, I thought about one of my clients. I was talking to one of my consulting clients this morning and speaking with her. I was talking about what she went through in her life and how she got to where she's at today. And at one point, she's very very victor-minded. She definitely was like, I did this and I did this, and this is who I am, and very proud of who she is. And I loved it for her. And then she got to this point, right? She's very much in the present and the future. She owns it. And then she got to this point where she started talking about her past. She said, I had to leave this relationship. I had to do this. I had to do that. And all of a sudden, she transformed from this victor of her current position, this woman of empowerment, to this victim of where she was in that past, in that bad relationship, in that bad situation with her family, in that bad situation where drugs and alcohol were around her. It was a had to. I said, hold on. You didn't had to, nothing. You chose to. You made that choice. And all of a sudden, she lightened up. All of a sudden, she little bravado. She smiled. She goes, yeah, I did. I chose to leave that situation. I chose to go and seek therapy and treatment for that PTSD. I chose to make these things happen. While she had lived this life up until this point, thinking she had to. She never gave herself credit for the work she did. And then she goes, yeah, because most people in my shoes would have ended up dead in the ditch, drug addicts, DUIs. She chose different. And in that moment, when we captured that moment of what she chose to do, she instantly straightened up. She instantly smiled. All of a sudden, she became the victor of that story, no longer the victim of her circumstance. And in that moment, our entire conversation shifted. We were able to then bottle up that energy of all the greatness that she was, all the greatness she is, so that we can support her become that great person she's gonna be, because she's already done it, because she chose to live each and every day. She chose to make those decisions. And all too often, what we find ourselves doing, we find ourselves regretting things in the past, wishing we would have done things different. And yet, it makes no difference how you think about things in the past. You're still here you're in the present. What matters is, what gift did you receive in the past, and what can you do to propel yourself forward? Okay, so you didn't get the thing you wanted to get. What's the gift in that? What can you do about it today to get where you want to be in the future? What work are you going to put into today so you have that future? Okay, so you don't have the $1 million. Great. What do you have? How did you get it? And what are you going to do moving forward? All right, so you missed your goal for the end of the year, right? End of the year is right around the corner. There are some goals you're going to miss this year. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to wallow in self-pity and misery? Are you going to make adjustments? Are you going to redefine your goals and get after it? I talked about reading books this year. From January, I made a goal. I'm going to read 12 books this year. From January till August, I made zero progress. Zero. And then I started changing some other things about my life. I started doing my push-ups in the morning. I started flossing my teeth. I started putting time aside. I started taking a multivitamin. And all of a sudden, I started cranking out books. I've blown way past that 12-book goal because I got myself right when the time was right, because I focused on what have I done in the past to make myself successful in the present so I have the future I want to have someday. And so I can stand here in front of you now coming from a more educated perspective because I put the work in over the last 4 months. So I focus on what works best for me and how do I achieve greatness. The last week or so, I've been in the last 2 chapters of this book that I've read in the past, and I'm rereading. I got really excited. And for the last week, I'm like, oh, I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to finish this book. And I have not finished the book. I can beat myself up about not having finished the book yet, or I can say, okay, what do I want to do today? So today, when I got in my office, I had a cancellation in my calendar. So I sat down and read my book. And I'm down to 1 last chapter, right? And it's the good stuff. Right. And I made progress today. And you know what? Maybe later tonight I'll finish it, and maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. The goal is I'm not going to beat myself up about the last 3 or 4 days that I did not read my book because I chose to do things otherwise. I'm not going to live in the regret of the past. I'm going to focus on what I can do today to focus on my future. I started looking at this earlier today, the psychology behind it, because there's the words, and I love me some words, right? And there's also the psychology behind it, this regret. Here are the regrets that people have. And these will resonate with you as they've resonated with me. I wish I had more present and closer to the ones that love me, right? This is the holiday season. There are times in the past that I've skipped holiday parties. And earlier today, I already decided I'm going to go to a holiday party or 2 that in the past I had skipped, because this is my opportunity to rekindle some of those relationships, rekindle the time with people that want to spend time with me, and I want to spend time with them. Second thing, I wish I had been a better spouse, parent, or child. Like you, there are times that I have not been present. And so now the opportunity is, what can I do now to be present so that in the future, I have this amazing relationship with the people that matter most? I wish I hadn't worried about what other people thought. That's the one I've been working on for years. That's the one when I got back from Gitmo. That's the one I tackled. I attacked that because I can honestly say for the first 32 years of my life, I gave a shit about what other people thought about me. And then I watched a video for 6 minutes and 36 seconds, Les Brown Goldcast on YouTube. I will always give credit to that video. I've seen that video no less than 200 times and probably closer to 500. Talks about how you got to be hungry. In the video, he says, people's perception of you does not have to become your reality. That resonated with me. That lit a fire within me to recognize that the only person's perspective that matters is the perspective that I own. And when I want to see myself different, that means I can choose to go and be different. Next regret. I wish I hadn't taken life so seriously. Absolutely. Life is serious, and there's times to enjoy the moment, enjoy the present, no longer focus on what can go wrong or what did go wrong. Enjoy the moment. I've talked about this. I had a relationship where when we were 5 minutes late for something, it ruined the rest of the night because we were 5 minutes late. Okay, we're 5 minutes late. Who gives a shit? Let's go. I showed up with a wrinkled shirt. Who gives a shit? Let's go. Let's enjoy the present. Let's not be so serious about everything. Sometimes things go to shit. Do you dwell on them? Do you beat yourself up? Do you blame others? Do you give excuses? Are you in denial about the fact that it's in shit? Or do you take ownership, accountability, and responsibility and say, okay, this is where we're at. Let's fucking go. I've taken some major things on. Actually, I had some tattoos done recently. I haven't even told the story yet. I had some tattoos done recently, and he spelled a word wrong on my tattoo. And I didn't find out until like a week later when someone saw it. And so I took a picture, I sent it to him. I go, hey, this isn't the right word. He wrote the word am instead of the word are. And he goes, oh, fuck. He's like, all right, this is how I can fix it, right? So what happened, I found out later, was he had read the word are, he smudged it, and he turned it R-A-R-E into am, A-M, because it looked about the same, right? And I go, well, it's a story for later. He goes, hopefully a funny one. I go, what else is there? What other choice do I have? Right? Take a little white out to my arm? No. All right. It's a funny story, right? We proofread it. He started tattooing me. Shit happens, right? It's not like it's permanent. Whatever. It's a funny story. Now I have the opportunity to talk about the time that I had the wrong word tattooed on my arm. It's like, all right, well, shit happens, right? So not take life so seriously. Last one here is, I wish I had traveled more. These are the things people, they wish they did. I wish we had traveled more, right? Take the trip. Get out of your house. Go do something. Go for the walk for the hour instead of sitting in front of Netflix for an hour. Go get some fresh air. Go see something new. You know, whether it's hot, cold, windy, rainy, stormy, go out and see the world. Do something different. Make every time you get in your car a little adventure. I used to talk about that when I go to the grocery store. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make an adventure out of it, right? I'm going to go find something I've never had before and buy it. I'm going to go talk to some random people, right? Why not? Why not travel and be adventurous in everything you do? And here are some things that people regret also. I saw this, right? Not expressing the things that they didn't do, right? Not expressing feelings. That's one of the top 5 regrets on this other list, not expressing feelings. Often what happens with people is they show and they act out their feelings without using their words. And I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I remember when she was 2 or 3 and we first started using words, right? She'd get upset. I say, okay, Penny, use your words. How are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? What can we do about it? And as a 40-year-old adult, I have some times where I need to remind myself that, hey, Andy, how are we feeling? Why do I feel this way? And what can I do about it? Expressing your feelings in words is a way where you can take something emotional and bring it to a logical place. And now other people can accept your feelings versus when you go out there and you're reacting emotionally, right? And then you're expecting people to understand you or agree with you. And it's like, no, accept where I'm at today. Not forgiving more. That's another one. Not forgiving more. Remember, forgiveness is for the person. Forgiveness is for the one that forgave. And as everybody knows with me, sorry is a shit word. I never use the word sorry. And I can still forgive others and accept them. It's all about the acceptance. Accept them for who they are. That's my way of forgiving people that I felt wronged me in the past. I can accept what they did. I can accept where they came from. And I can accept who they are today. That's the forgiveness that's within me. Forgiveness is for the person seeking forgiveness or giving forgiveness, not seeking the forgiveness. It does more for that person. The next thing I read about when it came to regrets was a paper done by Cornell psychologists called the ideal road not taken. This is the argument they make here. There are 3 versions of yourself, 3 elements that people identify themselves with. The actual self, qualities you believe or qualities you believe that they have, right? Actual qualities that you believe they have, right? Ideal self, qualities you want to have, and the ought self, the person you think you should have been based on your obligations and responsibilities. So as we know, should is a shit word, right? Ought. You ought to do that. You should do that. It's all in the same realm. This is what the study realized. When asked to name their single biggest regret, 76% of participants said that they did not fulfill their ideal self. They had their actual self, the qualities they had, the ought self, the things that they felt they needed to focus on, and they never actualized or came to a fulfillment of their ideal self, the qualities that they wanted to have. It goes on and says they focus on what they should do instead of what they want. This is something I've learned since I wrote my book. When I first wrote my book, I focused on the needs. Let's focus on your needs. I thought about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Take care of those baselines. Everything else is gravy. And then this last year, I read Dan Sullivan's book, 10X is easier than 2X. And I realized that I was focusing so much on my needs, I wasn't taking care of my wants. And really, the wants are the good stuff. Because the difference is, when I say I need this XYZ, it's followed with because. And that's a justification. That's why we get rid of the word just in our language, right? We justify why we need it. And then we start to rationalize why we need it, right? So let's take a look at one of the regrets, travel. I need to travel. Why? Oh, because I need sunshine and rainbows and a beach and vitamin D and refresh. And it's like, hey, do you really need it? Right? You can have this whole conflict and argument. Okay, let's change that one word from I need to go on vacation to I want to go on vacation. I want to go on vacation. Why? Because I want to. And now the noise goes away. I want to attend this party. I want to have a good relationship with this person. That desire is my ultimate want. In speaking with my client earlier today, she talked about an uncomfortable situation she puts herself in every week. She meets with family. She has elderly family member that she wants to spend time with. And in order to spend time with this elderly family member, there's some other people that she would prefer not to spend some time with. And I say, how do you show up every week? She goes, well, my desire to spend time with this person trumps my frustrations with these other people. Her want trumps her discomfort. Her want trumps her need to be accepted. Her want trumps all things because she wants it enough. That's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen, for this week. What are your wants? How big are they? Do you want to lose weight or do you want to eat a candy bar? Do you want to stay at home because it's crappy out or do you want to go out and see the world? Do you want to save your money in perpetuity or do you want to go buy something because it's going to make you happy today? Neither answer is right or wrong. What are your wants? Some people say, I don't want to go to this Christmas party. Then don't go. This last year, my family decided we don't want to buy gifts. Okay, we're not buying gifts. Can we still have Christmas? Yes. Are we still going to eat? Yes. Are we going to still tell jokes? Yes. Okay. Are we going to play games? Yes. Okay. My mom says, I don't want to do gifts, right? It ends up taking a bunch of time and we all spend the money and get stressed out. Okay. What do we want to do? Be very honest about your wants, ladies and gentlemen. Live a life where you're going to be that top 20% of people. 80% of people live somewhere between fear and anger. Be the top 20% of people that are courageous enough to go out and tell the world what they want. They go out and get what they want because they go out and they do the fucking thing. They tell the world what they want because they tell the world. Finally, they show the world. People won't always believe what you said or what you did. They believe what they felt when they interacted with you. Show the fucking world who you are. Live the life of want. Live the life that you want so that you don't regret. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you get to live every day. You only die once. We'll see you next week.
Through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.